Alright. Hello, everybody. I am Couch20 here with Sonny. We're gonna put on a race for you today.
Yeah, this is going to be Final Fantasy IV Any Percent No Credit Warp, a game that Couch and I have run for quite some time now. This is going to be a fairly quick run of Final Fantasy IV overall. There actually is a different category for the true Any Percent run, and that involves a credits warp. But we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be doing some other shenanigans in this run that are going to be very, very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. Some walking. Some more walking. A little bit more walking.
And maybe some stair climbing. Yeah, that sounds about right.
With that, you wanna get going?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Cool. And I'll count us in.
Well, let's get this run going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Luck.
Good luck to you too.
So
we get to
what?
We get to start off with a cutscene and a lot of text mashing.
Cutscenes in a Final Fantasy? No.
Those don't exist. I don't even know what I'm talking about half the time. I mean, what? So we start off with Cecil being the commander of the Baron Red Wings. We start off with them flying back from a raid on Mysidia in order to obtain the water crystal from the Mysidian people. And Cecil's reflecting on the actions that were taken and is not too terribly happy about them overall. So pretty much that's about the first couple minutes of the game, just explained in a nutshell.
Yeah, there's a lot more deep lore, but nobody wants to do that.
What is this lore that you speak of?
So basically, the first 8 minutes of the speedrun is text man. There's going to be a little bit of walking here and there. Not too much.
Oh, I actually got attacked by a float eye. And sound glitch just because.
So you'll see us pausing in battles and in certain situations. Pausing the game actually stops the in-game timer from running. And in-game timer comes in handy much later in the run or participating in the 64 floor. There's one room or one floor in the 64 floor such that reads your IGT, and if happen to advance to the next room on the wrong IGT, you'll basically soft or hard lock. Whatever the game decides. But pause to manipulate our in-game so we don't have to sit around and wait for so long.
Yeah, and to elaborate a little bit more on that, it actually is specific down to the second of the in-game time. So if we happen to be on a bad second of the in-game time, that could cause something that we lovingly call bacon.
Actually got bacon earlier today. Call it bacon because it makes a cool little, almost sizzling sound when specific room or map or part of the game you're not supposed to be in. Stops you from anything.
It's fun stuff. So we are about to become, UPS delivery men, because we pick up a package from the King of Baron to take to the Village of Mist to do things with. And you're going to see us enter our menus fairly early on to set up our battle speed and message speed both to 1, being the fastest. And I don't know if you do this early on, Couch, but I will also be changing my window color to a specific set of colors.
I just do my window color change right after all that. Me and Sonny are gonna do some different strats. I'm gonna play more on the haha fun side / safe per se. I'm gonna do less risky strats. No step route. Things that can guarantee a finish, that can show, you know, the average viewer, hey, you don't need to step route, you don't need all this other stuff. Be able to play this game.
And I'm going to be showing off what step routing is and how it can either help or hurt you depending upon how you play. Now, one thing to take note of is in Cecil's room, right by the table, there's a chair that you step on. That step is known as a free step. So you, in order to maintain the early game step route, which is on seed 92, which we did manipulation for before the run started, you have to take a step off the chair and back onto the chair. And this guarantees that you will not get an encounter before you actually fight the Mist Dragon, which is going to be the first boss of the run.
I mean, you can also take the steps really anywhere else, but the step on that stool actually doesn't increase your step count at all. That's why we kind of use the stool. Since it's directly in our path, we have to take an extra step somewhere in. Now, you can make, if you do set up C92 beforehand, you don't need to do. It's only to guarantee an encounterless from Baron Distract. If you do set it up beforehand, you can take like 15 extra steps without getting an encounter. It's very lenient on how many like stepping mistakes you can.
Yeah, it's extremely generous. Also, if you happen to not grab any snacks or a drink before this run started, really now's your time to, because we're about to start getting into quite a bit of the action of the run. But there's a fun little question in this introductory sequence that we like to ask. It's actually in the introductory sequence. And that one question... Why
is Baron seeking the crystals?
Yeah, that was actually it. No, the real question, though, is why do the monsters keep increasing?
Nachos. Like nacho. A never-ending quest to find nachos.
Nachos. Now you're making me hungry.
A Dorito in chat if you want nachos. Pretty sure. I don't know. Tired.
Doritos chip. The crystal was shedding its light silently.
Nachos.
Alright, so we're actually going to head to the Chocobo Forest that's just by Baron to pick up a Chocobo, so that way we can just run straight to the Mist Cave. I'm going to overshoot the Chocobo Forest as well, because I'm that good, apparently.
So there is, if you do watch some runners on this game, you'll notice that I did not pick up the carrot that is in the pot. That carrot is usually to go up to that big square tile to lock the fat chocobo. Gives you more inventory space. But there's a glitch later in the game. You can actually use the carrot bosses fight a little bit faster. A little bit.
It's somewhat difficult to do. Alright, here we go. Demist. So the goal with Demist is to get 7 attacks in before it turns into Mist. So hopefully we're going to do exactly that. Hello, crit. Alright, so we're going to initiate an item duplication glitch during the time that the Mist Dragon changes into Mist, and then we're going to finish it out with duping Kane's Iron Shield. This is going to come into massive importance later.
You like money. Like money a lot.
Very much so.
Do you do the Shadow or Iron Shield?
I do the Iron Shield,
Okay.
dude. Did you do the Shadow Shield?
Iron's good for guaranteed safety. So, there, we kind of basically just skipped over the left entrance down. It pertains to having to deal with using a tent to basically break our position on the map and saving on top of the town and then resetting. Well, not as simple as that, but basically what that does is that allows us to reload while we're on top of the town, and when you're on top of any tile town, it actually won't allow you to re-enter anything as a trigger tile. So when we reload, we're on top of the town, and we can just walk over the right side, and we can actually enter from the right side by going through. Definitely pretty fun and interesting glitch. Get a lot of strong items early on that make the early game much easier, like the dancing daggers that we purchased, and the change rod and the tiara, which is one of the most important ones, as Radio will be wearing that in a little. Very, very good physical defense. Radio is really squishy at level 1.
It also gives some pretty good magic defense as well.
And it also basically nullifies lightning damage, all lightning damage.
Yeah, and we won't really see a lot of magical attacks, really any, until we get to probably close to the halfway point of the run.
I mean, if you want to count well, I guess.
Yeah. That one's negligible at best, though. Unless, you have to cast a hero for it, but that's beside the point.
You're going to see me and Sonny in our inventory a lot during some of these battles when we have downtime. It's just to try and make our inventory less cluttered. We're going to be picking up items throughout the run. We're going to be buying items, buying specific amounts of items. Our inventory is very important to try and keep neat so we don't have to try and get certain items in certain spots later on in the game. We'll go a little bit more into once we get to that point. But just keep in mind that we are trying to keep our inventory as clean and neat as possible. Again, if any other normal run, I would be doing a step route, meaning I would say, hey, I got an encounter on that step. I'm not gonna worry about that today. We're just kind of going ham, whatever. Hey, here we are.
That was really early on.
Basically, I'm just using all the strats that, like, say a beginner would use, per se. Somebody just joining, somebody just learning the game. They don't know step route yet. Don't know all these cool tricks like trash can or carrot. Show safety things for certain things that we have to do. We have to land chocobos in certain spots. We have to make sure a chocobo leaves the screen at a certain time. Here's our first instance of what we call run buffering. This game, anytime there's a text box up at the top of the screen like that, completely freezes everybody's ATV. Use that to our advantage to get more inputs in. So we run, get that can't run text to show up at the top of the screen. We try and input our command as fast as possible before that goes away to give us a little bit of buffer time against these enemies. Because if you just hold A in that fight, it's actually really slow.
I got the attack text.
I only got two swings. Bad run buffer. So here, we get Rydia to finally join our party, and we're gonna immediately throw the TR on her. Want her to be not squishy. Her into the back row. A lot of the formation stuff that you'll see us doing will be a setup for when people join later on down the road, so we don't have to do more formation changes. That's specifically moving Rydia down one slot. It was for when Tella joins future. So we don't have to change our formation. 3 people versus just 2 people.
Now, one thing you can do that will kill your run is forgetting to go visit Rosa before you go enter the Watery Pass, because then you cannot recruit Tella into your party.
Never forget Rosa. Otherwise you'll have to make a long stolen walk back. Or you could just reset. But, situation, be able to reset. Don't forget Rosa. So we have Tella here blocking our way. Grumpy old man. Old man. No offense to anybody, that's old. I mean, I'm not even old now, I'm grumpy. He's very upset that his daughter, Anna, or Anna, however you want to pronounce it, is sneaking off with dirty bard. Can't have daughter of a sage not be sneaking off with a bard. And he decides to tell us, hey, there's something at the end of this cave blocking my way through. You are going to see a slight difference. You're going to see Sawney start to catch up to me at points. You see me start to pull away from Sawney at some points, mostly due to step routing. He may have to take an exuberant amount of steps in some places, whereas I'm not going to be taking any extra steps. What we do to take extra steps is, like in the save room here, the steps that you take in the save room actually increase your step count. So what we do is, some seeds say, hey, take like 30 steps in this room. So after the save scene, you take 30 steps and then you would move on to the next area. So if Sawney has to do anything like that, that gives me a slight chance to kind of, pull ahead here, whereas, I'll be getting more encounters.
Yep, and I already know what encounter seed I'm on.
But I'm going to be doing, some, like, or attempting to do some of these cutscene skips. Like I'm gonna try and skip the Damsian cutscene or the bombing that saves like 2 seconds if you. I'm trying to do these little tricks that not a lot of people. If you.
2, 4, 6. So I am on seed 55, and there are 256 different encounter seeds. And one thing you may have noticed is I actually stopped and took 6 extra steps inside of the Watery Pass save room area. That is very important to maintaining my step route and encounter manipulation per se. I can manipulate whether or not encounters are back attacks, but I'm not going to be doing that.
And for that, you usually have to be on same seed. You have to know what you need to do specifically before the encounter. And there's a lot that goes into back attack. It's not easy. We're just going to be continuing on. Yeah, basically exit.
Basically exit in.
Octo here is a fairly straightforward boss. He is the fastest boss in the game starting off. Agility is ridiculously high, and he starts to slow down as his tentacles. Tentacles go away by actually the amount of hits he takes damage. The first tentacle goes away at 3 hits, and then every tentacle following afterwards goes away after 2. As you can see, being incredibly outpaced here. 2 attacks before. And the theme here is to basically keep Rydia alive. He is our huge damage user. Dancing Dagger, you can use it as an item. Let me equip it on her, and then actually use it. That's where all our damage is coming from. A little bit from Cecil, as water monsters are weak to darkness in this game, the darkness element. Tella's kind of useless. We're gonna throw a quick tier 2 here. Rydia's back at full health. Then we're gonna actually stop Tella. Increases our DPS a little bit by having Tella not take up so many turns.
Not power.
That attitude. As you can see, Rydia's throwing up 200 plus damage while Cecil's over here smacking for like 100 here, 100 there. Rydia is pretty much a powerhouse. You can get her the dancing daggers. And again, inventory. I'm just moving some things around, making sure my inventory is nice and clean, and continue on. Having Tella stopped is always great. Tella's pretty useful as it at the beginning. But he just kind of takes up turns in this fight. And just like that, it's all over. We are going to go for the Damsian cutscene skip here. I'm going to do the same thing that I did to skip over Mist, except for I'm not going to use a tent, and I'm going to do it going up. So again, if you were on step route, you wouldn't do that. Got it. So Sawney will not be doing that as he is on step route. Anytime you reset the game, you get your encounter seed established on the frame that you push A on the title screen.
And now I get to count to 60.
Then this is where the steps come in. Sawney's gonna have to take 60 steps. That's a decent chunk of time, but he's also removing certain encounters from later on.
Here we go.
And the encounter seeds can vary wildly. You can have seeds where you take like 30 steps. You can have seeds where you take hundreds of steps. It's really drastically different sometimes. I think there's a seed where you don't actually take any steps at all. You just have to walk perfectly. Unless that's changed. Unless that's changed. I know Exodent has been putting in hard work and basically reestablishing all the step routes.
Yeah, shout outs to Exodent for doing that. Also, I heard that we may have some silverware on screen. You mean spoons?
Spoons?
Spoons? Spoons?
Sharp spoons?
Something like that.
What's your favorite kind of spoon, Kat? Mine is a soup spoon. The soup is good.
Mine is actually a ladle.
But that's a ladle, not a spoon.
It's a type of spoon.
I know.
It's a really deep
spoon. A Nutella spoon? Nobody likes Nutella. Because it has Tella in it. Yours is a spork.
I actually have a spork.
Sporks are fantastic. They're good for stabby and scoop.
They got the best of both worlds.
Right.
Oh.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but a 7-year-old? Radius 7, right? Radius something. Under 10-year-old told a grown Prince Bard that he's a crybaby because his girlfriend.
Rydia is 5.
she literally just you literally witnessed her mother dying like a day ago, and she's calling Edward a crybaby.
That's a thing. Let's hurry. So, there's a chest coming up in the next area we're going to, called the Antlion Cave, that contains a life potion.
You could always get it.
And some of us get it, some of us skip it.
It costs you, like, not even half a second to grab it.
2 frames.
Especially if you're just learning the game, I highly recommend grabbing it, because if you do get a back attack in here, and you lose either Rydia or Edward, or you lose both, it's gonna make the Antlion fight very slow.
Very much so.
Edward can equip the dancing daggers as well as Rydia. And Antlion has this awesome counter attack called Counter. Physically attack it. So not at all with CC.
Wait, it's got a counter?
That's all its cool things on
my mind couch. So, yeah, Antlion, next boss. Honestly, with Dancing Daggers, massive pushover, because Dancing Daggers actually deal magic damage instead of doing physical damage. So you don't have to worry about Antlion doing any counterattacks whatsoever.
If you're walking anywhere on the overworld or in a dungeon, you can change the character that's on display on screen by pushing R. Only R. You can't use L. I don't know why you can't use L to go back the other direction.
Because FF4.
Apparently that's hard to do. But yeah, it serves no purpose other than to change the character who you want to be walking around as.
Shoutouts to the next boss fight that we have coming up, by the way.
Walking?
Yeah. Yeah. Walking definitely is a boss fight.
Walking can actually be really hard in this game.
And actually, shoutouts to Charm Room, because I'm about to have to go into the Charm Harp room to take extra steps. So if you happen to lose count while I was doing extra steps, that was 32 extra steps in the Charm Harp room. So in total so far, I have taken 98 extra steps.
I have taken 2 accident. So if you look at how long it takes to take exactly 1 step, you see how long it can take. But taking those extra steps is more than likely going to be faster than the encounters that you're especially if you get into like a back attacker thing. Back attacks are nice and slow. Every single enemy gets a turn before you can run away. Run into a pack of, say, 7 zombies, 8 imps. The more enemies, the longer it takes. And it's even worse if the enemies happen to cast a spell, because spells take a while to cast. Animations are slow.
Be talking about the legendary zombie dance party that we might see later, are you?
I always talk about it. Who doesn't like a zombie rave?
Right. So we use the Sand Ruby over Rosa to heal her with it. We still don't know how this works.
I like to imagine that it's a suppository.
Well, that's one way to look at it.
Other people don't see it that way.
But we end up staying the night in Kaipos so that way Rosa can recover. And during the middle of the night, Edward, he's feeling down. He just lost Anna. And
so
go
play some jams.
Yes, he goes out to play his heart, and this water hag comes out and is like, no music for you. Stop, turn it off. And Edward's like, no. So it initiates a battle between Edward and the water hag. And if you are still using Edward's harp, this battle takes forever. But if you are using a dancing dagger, with Edward being in the middle slot of the party, he has a 99% accuracy, or the equivalent to 100% in FF4, which means he's going to hit every time. It takes 3 hits to end the battle, because if we had to kill Water Hag, well, we'd be sitting here waiting for about 65,000 HP's worth of damage.
I do want to mention that there is a small glitch in this game that is allowing Edward to have that 99% accuracy from the back row. Any back row weapon that you equip on anybody in this game permanently puts them in called back row glitch. So they will deal the same damage no matter what any other weapon. So if you equip a harp like Edward comes equipped with, he is permanently in the back row glitch. No matter what weapon he equips, you can equip. If you could put like the crystal sword on him, he would still be back row glitch. So it's a permanent. My probably just an oversight, but it is a permanent status actually whenever you equip a back row item, which is giving Eddie that accuracy. If Eddie did not come with a harp equipped, or a harp did not have back row effect, Eddie's accuracy would be considerably lower in the back row. We want to point that out.
And that's why I'm glad you elaborated on the back row glitch.
You need to park that hovercraft in that exact spot that I put it. It is for later on in the game. We're going to be putting, vehicles, parking chocobos in certain spots, parking the hovercraft in that exact spot. We're going to be doing a lot of setup throughout the run that you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of whatever. He just parked it there because. It's actually because we're setting it up for later. I think it's -4 in the fourth floor that you come across in the 64 floor glitch that actually reads that data from the hovercraft parking location, and it tells the game, hey, okay, well, this is where Cecil needs to be put on that map. And if you do not park it there, we'll end up either soft locking or hard locking, depending on, or you'll end up on a completely different wrong map that you need, or you might not get pushed. There's a whole bunch of different things that can happen.
One thing that I don't think either of us mentioned is when we were exiting Kaipo, we exited on specific sides outside of the door. That's just to place us on the world map in a more convenient location. In the case of after we returned with the Sand Ruby and the hovercraft, we exited on the left side in order to just be able to instantly board the hovercraft and not take any extra steps. And in the case of leaving to go to Watery Pass, we exited on the right, just so that way we could take one step to the right and then head north towards the Watery Pass.
I want you all to know that Yang is severely allergic to the arrow mount mobs. That's why he's sneezing.
Very much so. I wonder what boss we're gonna have here today.
I bet it's gonna be imps.
Oh, dude. I love imps. So, there actually is a way to manipulate Yang's damage rolls for this fight. But, sometimes it just doesn't work out. And I got a bad set of damage rolls.
Mine are up.
That's not what I wanted to see. Let's see how this rolls out. Okay, yeah, it's good. So, if I had continued to let that play out, this more than likely would have been a 4-turn anyway. But there are times that it could be a 5-turn.
The first form of Mom Bomb has specifically 10,800 HP. You need to do 800 HP to get her to split into this form. And then you just gotta kill these bombs as they die. Mom Bomb is probably one of the scariest boss fights when you're first learning this. If you're not used to the fight, if you don't quite fully grasp how the fight goes, it can go very sideways very quickly. I mean, I've wiped there, past year when I was just messing around. It's a very dangerous fight. It looked like it was super easy. Did get a little bit lucky with something.
That makes 2 of us. Because one of the bombs missed Rosa. So I actually have all 5 party members up for my walk to Fabul.
How's your walk looking?
3 encounters total between going from the summit straight to Fabul.
Nice. This is about where you're going to see Sonny catch up. Because I probably will get like 5-6 encounters. And that encounter difference will definitely allow Sonny to catch back.
Hey, Couch, since I told you I'd remind you about this, don't forget to dupe your Fire Claw while in the gauntlet.
Don't forget to save outside of Fabul, just in case.
That's what I plan on doing.
So I only got 2 encounters there, which on step, if you're not step routing, kind of a rarity to happen to me.
That is extremely lucky.
I mean, you can still get no encounters. Just have to happen to get an encounter like right before that Mom Bomb fight, and I accidentally was mashing B. Don't mash B when you're talking to the king. Because when you mash B... Okay, so for mashing in this game, you can mash with any button on the controller except for select. If you mash B, it automatically selects no. So we said no to the king, and we had to go back into the room. Happens. I mash B because it's more comfortable for me to hold my thumb there the way I hold my controller. I forget sometimes.
So we are going to go into the football gauntlet, which is really where run buffering shines. If we get our run buffers correctly, we'll be able to get an attack off, namely a dancing dagger throw, onto one of the guards in the guard officer path. And that actually mitigates a lot of potential damage coming out onto our party. We don't want Edward to go into hide status or for him to die, because these are still coded as normal random encounters. Edward will go into hiding.
Even though the boss music is playing, these are technically still just random encounters. So, Edward is our primary damage dealer in this gauntlet, and if he is hiding, no bueno. We have Cecil attack the Water Hag, because again, water-based monster, weak to the darkness element of his sword. Get that a little bit more damage than Yang would do against Water Hag. Now I am joined by my sleepy kitty.
As I'm entering the second fight of the gauntlet. And we just throw the dancing dagger at the Weeper, because that's just the fastest target for us to throw the dancing dagger at.
The Weeper actually has the most HP. That's
that too.
Now, a lot of people will dancing dagger the second general fighter fights. I have been actually working on just physically attacking instead of using it. Saves the animation time, and Edward has about a 95% chance of actually dealing enough damage to take out one of the fighters.
I just properly menued the dancing dagger instead of cheese menuing it.
So there, I did dupe Yang's claw like I did the shield early. A little bit fast because it was right at the top of the menu. But yeah, we need that for later on in the game. Be using a certain amount of fire claws stack that we item warp that we do.
Oh, crap. That was the wrong command.
Look at that. Edward survives the whole gauntlet. Not even hiding. What a champ.
I manually hit Edward.
That happens sometimes too. Make sure you don't select that fifth element. Comes back. Here we're running into Kane again. He's gonna jump and do some damage to us. We want to be dropped below a certain HP threshold, so we skip some extra text that would normally show up. Got a low roll. Not enough. We're getting extra text. Cecil needs to be at 65 HP or below for his critical HP state, which cancels that extra text.
We shall soon find out if I have the same luck. Kane coming through like a boss, dealing 204 on the count.
Nice. GG. It's little things like this that can either catch you up or make you fall a little bit further behind it. There's just little instances of RNG that can sway how your run goes. And if you watch very closely, you see Golbez absorb Rosa.
Yes.
Straight up absorbs her.
I am totally in on that lore, by the way. Golbez just straight up absorbs Rosa.
We can call them Gloza.
They didn't do the fusion dance, though.
Not yet.
That's true. And little girl screams cure, everybody rises to their feet.
So the first instance of us doing some actual shopping is coming up very soon. After these next couple of cutscenes, we getting on a boat and making our way to Baron, but we hastily interrupted by some giant sea snake. I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this character. That's. We'll be doing some shopping and we'll be buying some specific items, and selling some items is very important.
Yeah, remember to finish the Fireclaw dude.
You too, man.
I did. I was doing that as I was reminding you. So you may notice that we have a black box 4 Fireclaws. This is the equivalent of 254 Fireclaws, and this is actually quite important because we need to sell 140 of them in the next town we're going to visit, which is Mysidia. And
spoilers.
That 114 Fireclaws is actually going to be very imperative to the 64 floor glitch.
Yeah, the only way we can get an inventory stack with over 100 is by doing a full duplication like that. And then we're gonna be selling basically 2 stacks of 70 when we get to this, and then doing some other purchasing to try and get our GP down into a nice safe range. Because the GP again falls into the 64 floor glitch. It determines where you land on a certain map and which map you land. A lot that goes into this run setup wise. Like basically the whole run you're doing some sort of setup for later on. That's very important that you don't miss it.
Especially after we just get past the halfway point.
Yeah, definitely. When was the last time you saved, buddy?
Outside the pool.
Alright. Make sure you throw down a save outside.
That actually is a plan. Just because the fights on ordeals can go completely awry.
Mostly saving is just for safety. I will be saving and resetting after mount ordeals as another part of manipulation that Sawney will not be able to do if he wishes to stay on step route. So we need a yellow chocobo to leave the side of the screen at very specific locations. I would bring up a little chart, which Sonny might probably. You're gonna have that, right?
I will definitely have that up.
Okay.
So you all will be able to see what Couch is talking about. That is actually going to be used specifically for a yellow chocobo, because there are spots that the yellow chocobo can fly off the screen at that are considered bad spots that will end up either soft locking or hard locking us whenever we enter floor negative. I want to say it's -5, or is it -8?
Oh, it's negative like 14. It's after
Yeah,
Black Mage Room.
that's right. It is -14. And if I get a bad chocobo placement, then when it leaves the screen, then I will need to get another yellow chocobo in order to try it again.
And me, I will be manipulating that so we don't have to worry about it. So I bought very specific items. Mostly the item shops, just for having curative items, but it's also to make sure we get our GP down to. Look, NPCs.
So yeah, we buy 70 Cure 2, Life, Heal, and Ether 1s, and then for the route that I'm actually using, I'll end up buying 10 Gaia Helm, 10 Silver Rings, a Paladin Shield, and a Paladin Glove. And this is partially for GP manipulation, partially for being prepared for a boss later on. Also, say hello to the best twins in the game. And yes, they're the only twins in the game.
Evermore. Evermore.
I did not get the note of shame.
Just being chased by one raven. I like to imagine it's one raven following from the beginning.
We should probably go ahead and mention this. After a certain area on the map leaving Mysidia, the encounter rate actually changes heading towards Mount Ordeals. So you're going to get more encounters while you're heading to Mount Ordeals than if you were staying around Mysidia.
I think it goes from 6 to 10 to 8 out of 10. Or, sorry. Not out of 10.
6 out of 10 to 8 out of 10. Or, yeah.
Out of 250.
Yeah. 3,000 out of 256.
No, you.
Don't worry. Math is hard, yo.
No math. So as you can see, step routing is paying off for Sonny. He is slowly catching up to me. I'm getting much more encounters than he is. And step routing paying off. Very advantageous step route. But you can still get really good times without. So since Sonny is on step route, he's saving at the base amount ordeals. I am not, so I will be saving at the summit instead. I'm also going to be doing some silly slash, I guess, safe strats for bosses.
I mean, excluding one of them that is very RNG dependent.
Oh, I'm going Piggy.
Are you going Piggy?
We're gonna.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm going for like beginner style things that
Okay.
Somebody who's just picking up the game could pick up the game and watch me and basically just mimic it.
Right. So, yeah, I am going to be doing a strat against Mylon's second form, who you just saw Mylon on my screen. That is actually slightly RNG dependent and also execution based. So it's gonna be fun. I'll put it that way.
Always fun. I mean,
I may have some words for said character if he does not play ball.
Who doesn't like Piggy Pally?
Oh, that was the encounter I was worried about. Thank the gods. So I had a 2 spirit, 2 soul, 2 red bone encounter couch.
That's the worst encounter you can get on that one. It's a 6 enemy encounter, but those spirits cast Fire 1. It's forever. So you get 4 casts of Fire 1, then 2 physical attacks immediately following. That back attack or surprise attack just kind of drags on.
Yeah, you lose a lot of time if it is a back or surprise attack. It's no fun. So as we continue to ascend Mount Ordeals, we are actually coming up to the next 2 bosses of the run. And if I had to take a wild guess, I'd say both Couch and I are going to be using twin strats on Mylon. But as alluded to earlier, the next boss in the sequence, not going to be the same.
As you can see, the Fire 1 casts are really slow.
Oh, I took 2 extra steps. That might be bad. I'll cut out 2 steps on there. Alright, now for the Lit Fest to begin. Alright, here we go. So, I'm going to attempt to do the strat. I'll explain it afterwards.
I'm gonna do something completely different. Heal everybody. Change rows. Have Alum cast Piggy. So Piggy is gonna prevent poison. So Piggy's gonna prevent poison. And yeah. We will not get any of those poison text bombs. You may see here every so often.
Okay, got the setup. We got a trash can.
GG.
Okay, so there's quite a bit to explain with that. So you noticed that I had Palom cast Ice 2 on Porum, and then Porum queue up Twin with telestopping Cecil. The whole gist of that is what it did was it caused Palom to enter a mimic state, because whichever Twin initiates the Twin spell, the other one mimics the first one. And we ended up killing Porum, who initiated the Twin, with Ice 2. This throws Palom into a state that he's going to do whatever the last action was. And in the case of what I did with Cecil, is I half used a Cure 2 and then switched the position of the trash can and the Cure 2, and that caused the trash can. And the trash can, when used as an item, it casts Fire 3, if I remember correctly, 8 times. Resulting in a massive amount of damage on Mylon Z, and outright kills Mylon Z. I'm on pace for a 3-dagger.
I have a piggy pally.
I got a 3-dagger.
Nice. The piggy pally.
So, step routing and trash can have both ended up catching me up to couch and putting me slightly ahead of couch. By the way, that was a 1 hour 41 second power. So I'm feeling pretty good so far.
Good. Pushing buttons.
I am going to be slightly off step route, but I can recover it in Castle Baron. So this is where back attack heaven is going to occur. If y'all want to see that. For us that are running, well, it's the complete opposite. We don't want to see back attacks happen to us.
So the way back attacks work in this, kind of based off enemy level versus your level. And Cecil here just got reset back to level 1. Kind of puts us at a disadvantage level-wise, and gives us a higher chance for back attacks.
And you may see red bars pop up on my screen. They're absolutely not. These are the red bars that we mentioned earlier. They are absolutely necessary.
Not necessary, but they're a useful tool.
In my case, they're absolutely necessary.
But definitely in no way necessary to. You can eyeball it. You can manipulate a good chocobo if you need to. But yes, if you are on step route, it does make it a lot easier to tell. Hey, okay, well that's a good chocobo, or hey, that's a bad chocobo. I'll be saving and resetting directly outside of the chocobo fort, and I'll be walking up, standing in a specific spot waiting for chocobo.
I just got back attacked by 6 imps. It's like the best back attack to get. Alright, here we go. Come on, good chocobo. That is a very good chocobo.
So chocobos are based off of NPC value. If you walked perfectly, still would not be able to plate it.
Holy cow,
Because when Mylon Z shakes, it actually changes MP. So I saved, reset, and I'm going to walk into the forest. Stand in this spot, wait for the chocobo to start moving. Now my chocobo is going to leave in the bottom right corner of the screen. It's going to be perfect every single time. As long as you save, reset, so you can reset those NPC values, and then make sure the chocobo is moving upwards. That's how you do it. So we need to make sure later when we go get a black chocobo that we do not accidentally grab a yellow chocobo. Otherwise we will need to get another chocobo and make sure that it is good.
And that is going to be coming up very, very soon. Dude, I'm getting stopped by all the white mages.
It happens. Like hugs. Da-da-da.
So you may notice after the Serpent Road, we're back in Baron, and yeah, we're back in Baron.
The Baron?
And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Chrysler?
Yeah, something like that.
Girl's got jukes. Blocking you.
She did block me.
So you can't actually access the Serpent Road until you become a paladin. It becomes unlocked because, I believe, according to Pure of Heart can make it through. Some nonsense like that.
Yep.
That's the only, right. And that's the only time we'll ever see the Serpent Road.
So, we find Yang in the Baron Inn, who, you know, jumped overboard earlier when we were attacked by, you know, I think it was the Master of the Seas. I don't remember. He's just mad that we were in his ocean. I'm pretty sure it was Leviathan, because, you know, Master of the Seas, all that stuff. But anyway, Yang ended up swimming to Baron somehow. So yeah, that's the thing. We end up defeating him, restoring his memory, and getting the Baron key from him. And that's going to be very coming up because we have more shopping to do.
Shopping. Like shopping. Get some shiz.
We're going to buy 4 stacks of 13 Cure Staves, 8 Thunder Claws, 68 Fire Claws, 58 Ice Claws, 96 Ice Claws, and a stack of 20 Cure Staves. And these items are going to be very important for everything coming up. We're also going to buy 10 headbands and 10 karates.
Speak for yourself there. I don't buy those last 3 things. The 20. I just do 9 items.
Yes. Okay. I had to double check to make sure I was buying the right amounts of everything.
It's very important that we buy these specific numbers and we don't mess up at all.
Because even though we say exactly how much of what item we're buying, it's still very easy to mess it up. So now I'm in the Baron Waterway heading towards Baron Castle because we got a bone to pick with the king. So we're actually going to get that done, and I actually have some more extra steps to take inside of the save room here.
Be taking all the extra steps.
Right. Extra steps, except I needed to take 18. So I will remember that for Toya. So I'm actually only off step route by 2 steps, but coming up in the next area, which is Toroya, I will actually have what are known as optional steps available, which are steps that I don't have to take, but they will count towards the step route. Since I'm currently 2 steps ahead of step route,
You taking count the 2 steps on already?
That's why I said I'm 2 steps ahead of step route.
That's making.
Yep. I already did. That was the first thing I did as soon as I entered my menu. So we MP underflowed specifically for Baigen coming up, and that is so that way we can actually cast Media, which we learned on top of Ordeals. Thanks, Accident. And that's going to come in handy right here. Oh, nice. So we're going to do the Medio.
I have a very important question. If Baigen feeds his snake arms, does Baigen get full if he's hungry?
That's a really important question, actually. So we are doing the Medio. And just like that, Baigen is down. And now we're going to head up to the next boss, which is actually on the throne of Baron. Because, you know, the king, he's not as it seems.
I mean, the dude we just fought had snake arms. What else could
Exactly.
What else could be happening?
Everything. All right, so I'm going to start doing inventory management. Thank you. So that fight is very RNG heavy, just based upon what Tella can roll with Lit 3. But with the Change Rod, it increases his is it
Wisdom.
intelligence? Wisdom. Thank you. His wisdom by 10, which gives Lit 3 the ability to do more
5.
damage. Close enough.
Just
I'm still thinking in FE terms.
just letting you know.
I know, I'm still thinking in FE terms, because I play more Free Enterprise than anything
Well,
else.
it's still 5.
Yeah, I always think it's 10, because it's the black robe that's supposed to be 10, if I remember right, but it actually is the white magic stat, not the black magic stat. Even still, my brain is everywhere. I haven't played
For sure.
before in quite some time.
Correcting the information.
I know.
And even
I'm just excited. I'm excited I got a good roll on Kanato for the first time in a long time.
even with the change rod and the guy helm equipped, still roll relatively low, like you saw on my end.
Don't tell me you got like a 3400.
As a 32.
Jesus! Tella, what are you doing?
Tella's just being Tella, man. Let me tell you about it.
I mean, at least Tella didn't Tella life me during trash can, so I'm at least happy about that. So Tella is going to attempt to cast Heal on the twins, and since they turned to stone by their own will, they can't be healed. So press F for the twins. Palamporum, you will be missed. Meanwhile, back at this place.
Bowling alley.
Meanwhile, back at the bowling alley. Oh, I'm within a minute of PB right now. That's scary. So we have Sid now in the party, and we're about to get a gift from Sid. This gift is an airship.
What? Airships don't.
And there's actually one thing to take note of during all of these cutscenes that are going on, and that's if you're mashing X whenever you exit all of the cutscenes, you can actually lock your game.
Exit.
So, yeah, you don't want to do that.
Flag landing, Zani. Do it.
I'll try it. I've never been able to get it. I'll try it, though.
I mean,
Since
come
I
on.
haven't played this in a while, I don't remember where the tile is that I need to turn at.
I mean, you gotta go for it.
Oh, I'm going for it. I never said I wasn't.
So there's one tile that you can land on in Troy area. We do our best to try and land on it without stopping, slowing down, trying to precisely. Just try and YOLO it. I mean, what good is going slow when you're trying to go fast, right?
Exactly. I can do this in FF1. So we'll see if I can get it here. It's right there. I was 2 tiles high.
Oh. I'll give it. I always give it a go, just because it looks really cool when it's done right. Just lands. Mostly just because airship movement is really finicky in this game. You can like barely tap the direction and you'll move two tiles over. So we just try and land as fast as possible. Gotta get good. Right, here we go.
So, here in the Toroyan Castle, we actually find Bedward. How much did you miss it by?
Oh, too far. I hit A too early.
Oh. But we find Bedward, and he's going to give us an item.
Nachos.
And yeah, said item is nachos. No, said item though is the twin harp, and that's about to come in handy.
Hey, look. Same time.
Not anymore.
That attitude.
I just exited.
Reset.
Right? Now my step route is slightly off, but not too terribly far off. So, normally you can manipulate the black chocobo, but I wing it because why not? And I actually got a fairly quick black chocobo. And so we're entering this cave that's just off of where Toroya is, because this is the next place we need to go to in the game. We actually need to obtain the Earth Crystal, which was stolen by whomever is in here.
Frank. Name is Frank.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
Name was Robert Paulson.
Oh, this is Patrick. Oh no, I got a back attack.
I'm gonna throw a save outside because I'm not on step route and I don't know what encounters I'm gonna be. There's some pretty gnarly encounters that you can run in that can end your run. Since Sid is the only one who's not wearing anything metal, actually very risky if he dies. If he dies,
shoutouts to mages.
Yeah, mages are just rude because they paralyze Sid. Big thing is if you get into like a back attack or something, since Sid is currently in the back row, he'll be in the front row in the back attack, and it's just no.
I mean, you could also get a back attack like I did and have it not really matter. And this back attack matters a lot. I say that, and then it really doesn't matter.
As long as Sid doesn't get...
Sid did not get punched. Cecil was the one taking the blows this time around. Alright, so now that I'm through the worst part of Cave Magnus, I'm actually going to equip Sid with things that are going to paralyze them. Namely, the Iron Glove that we took off of Kane at the beginning of the game specifically for this.
Lots of setup goes in. Down there.
So now we're about to get Edward playing his wicked harp solo. So definitely be sure to enjoy the wicked harp solo when it comes out.
Oh no, I died.
Oh no.
Whatever will
We're
I
both on
do?
the same screen again.
So if you don't have everybody paralyzed at the beginning of that fight, Dark Elf casts 3 spells, and you get some
I
text.
forgot to change my formation.
And Dark Elf casts weak on your party, which is nice and slow. That's why we make sure everybody dies before the beginning of that.
I forgot to change my formation, so this might actually be really scary. Oh, nope, I'm gonna be good. Oh, that's perfect!
So you're going to see us kill off Sid. This is very important because there's a thing called the Shadow Party in it. Anybody that's currently been in our party before will be rejoining later, receives any experience received from battles. Hello, you're fired. I hit it with the chain rod.
Yeah, that would definitely do it. So now we're going to exit out of Cave Magnus after obtaining the Earth Crystal, because you don't want to forget to grab that. And then exit out, because then you'll have to go all the way back down into the cave. And we're going to fly back to the Chocobo Forest. We're going to grab one more black Chocobo. See if I can still do this right. We're going to land the black Chocobo in a somewhat specific spot. That should be good. I may be 1 tile high. I think I am, actually.
No, you.
I'm 2 tiles high.
As long as you're within a certain range.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to land my Chocobo significantly lower than Ani does. It's usually just out of habit for step route, because step route takes into account that you're walking directly instead of vertical.
All right, here comes the fun part of the run.
Haven't been having fun?
Oh no, I have been, but we're going into my worst fights by far.
No, old lady.
All right, so we are actually nearing the part where things are going to go somewhat crazy. We're about to enter the Tower of Zod, which is... It's a thing. I'll put it that way. Tower of Zod is a place that can be very, very scary. And hopefully, Tower of Zod is not super scary. And of course, first thing I get, back attack.
It's scary because they have nachos.
Yes. Oh, it's scary because Cecil's at 204 HP. So we want to keep Cecil and Tella at max HP throughout all of this, because if either of them die, that's pretty much it. It's game over at that point.
Game over, man.
I'm well off step route, but it's okay because I'm at the end of the run.
So yeah, Towerzot is another one of these higher monster level areas. Back attacks are going to be a little bit more. You're going to have enemies with a little bit faster than your average ones. And it's just down to RNG point in the game, whether, you know, you get a zillion back attacks or...
Cecil's HP is way too low for me to be able to be comfortable to continue just walking on through here.
So we get this fire sword for a few reasons. It's a lot more damage than, you know, plain old sword that, or spear we're going to have with Kane. Another thing is, Golbez, who we fight later on, actually weak to fire. That's going to help us get through that fight a little bit faster. The advantageous to kind of keep that flame sword.
I've had to do a lot of healing so far in this Zot.
Fancy back attack.
No kidding there. That Witch Ice Beast AP girl was definitely a thing.
Hey, look, back attacks. My favorite.
Delicious, delicious back attacks. Now on sale at your store for $4.99. Shoutouts to Swordmans.
Yeah, the Swordmen are actually fast enough to where they can attack you before you're able to run. So it doesn't matter if it's a surprise or a back attack or a regular attack. You're still gonna get hit by the Swordman.
You know, you were starting to say something about surprise or back attacks, and guess what happened? Of course!
Make sure next time you tell them to bring tacos.
No, I'll tell them to bring nachos.
Taco nacho.
Nacho tacos.
Spicy. Muy caliente.
Nice. Second try MP underflow. So we end up doing the MP underflow again because we're about to go into a boss fight. And this boss fight is a boss fight. And it does boss fight things.
Basically, the goal is to keep Tella alive. I want Tella to die. Trouble.
Cover off. I may have a little 20 cane.
Nice.
All right, so Meteo goes off, defeating the Mega Sisters, and now we get to, pay a visit to Golbez.
We get a break.
We do get a break.
There's a lot of breaks in this game. A lot of times where you can get up, stretch if you need to, put your controller down, stretch your hands out, wipe the sweat off, whatever you need.
Which I'm actually going to take this moment to stand up and stretch.
Up, up.
All right. So Tella faces off against Gomez due to Anna dying, and Tella is spending his life using Meteo to defeat Golbez when the other two Meteos that we cast earlier on in the run didn't kill him.
3 times is too many.
Absolutely. So Golbez is like, no way, you know Meteo, and then ends up dying because of it.
More like Cheedio. Third time's the charm. It's twice, 3 times a lady. Wait, what?
I mean, if you want some delicious cereal, just go to your local grocery store and buy yourself some Meteos! They're the biggest pieces of cereal you will ever.
Contains 100% daily meat and intake.
But Golbez strikes down Cecil, and Cecil gets back up, brushes it off like it was nothing, and Tella stands up, falls back down, and gives his last breath.
Remember, nobody dies in this game unless you flicker away.
Press F for Tella.
Oh.
Tella actually did really good things for me this run, so I have to disagree with that now.
Press T for fella. Oh, baby. I'll do that.
I love it, Leonis.
Good old fella.
So, we save Rosa from having a bowling ball dropped on her head, and we get the best sprite work in the game. 2 sprites, 1 tile.
Thought that was CPU.
I mean, it looks like CPU, doesn't it? Man, Golbez must be rich to drop a CPU on somebody.
Just a cheaper version.
It's the prototype.
So this upcoming fight is actually relatively tight timing-wise. You follow the specific order, everything will fall into line. Sometimes it can go a little south if you mistime something. It's only an intel.
I moved my lives when I didn't mean lives down.
I hate it when I do that.
Alright. Make sure I've got my party set up correctly. Yes. Alright, here we go. Time for Volvalis.
There may not be a whole bunch of talking during this fight. Fair amount of concentration. Sure you don't mess anything up. Using the legends of daggers.
I'm gonna get text.
Me too.
Oh, this is perfect.
Oh man.
Did you get through it?
So I don't get to manage my inventory, but that's fine. I just get to do it in next couple battles. No big deal.
Don't worry, neither do I.
But my inventory is not too bad. It's a little messy. Overall,
Mine's
okay. I got everything I need up at the top. It's the big important factor. Favorite question in the game, where is it? Don't know what Cecil is referring to there, but
yeah, that was an error in translation, that's for sure.
it's a toss-up between that and a pitfall.
A pitfall!
Right before they fall down a pitfall. They saw it, why did they fall down it? Way to go, team. So, as we're nearing the end of the run, do a little bit of counting here. Pulling off my headphones and muting as to not interrupt Sonny, so I don't lose track of myself. We need to count to 63 while doing screen transition. Very important that we don't mess it up. Guys have to waste a few more minutes doing it afterward.
Yep. And these screen transitions are going to set up for the 64 floor glitch. And it's very, very important that we don't mess it up.
So, what happens in this game is when you cycle the floor counter to 60, it actually cycles all the way back to 0. And we get it to 63 when we hit the throne room. Then when we advance to the crystal room, it bounces it up to 64, which makes it 0. And then we get a cutscene that moves us back into the throne room, leaving our floor count at 0. And then we use warp. Every time you cast warp, it actually decreases your floor count by 1. And doing this, we're going to be grabbing... It's kind of a multi-purpose use here. There is a glitch in the game where if you cast warp right after the Golbez fight, you could go back into the throne room, or the crystal room, and get the darkness crystal so you don't have to use the cave. So we do that as well to make sure we have a certain party member leave at a certain point. But yeah. A couple more cutscenes, then it'll be counting time. The next 2 boss fights really aren't too bad. Golbez is kind of a freebie. Dolls can be rough, as there's multiple starting ATVs that could really kind of just throw off the whole fight, and you get kind of slow, fast, scary. Depends on who gets hit. General, quite rough.
Yeah, there are a lot of different factors going into the Dancing Dolls fight.
I'm going to do a quick menu to save and move my formation around before we enter the castle, muting myself until I'm done counting.
And I'm going to be doing the same. So just remember, we are counting to 63, and then we'll be going into the Dancing Dolls fight or the Calbrena fight. So this is actually the quiet part of the run.
Well, now that we have counted, 60 going to take on the doll, known as Calbrena, whatever you want.
The evil dolls.
There's a little trick with these. You can kill them all, or if you can kill them all without leaving one color of a certain kind before that one gets another turn, it won't turn into the big doll. And you'll actually skip that. Not too difficult to do, but it can be difficult to judge about what actions you need. This is a very variable fight. Pain is going to be our big damage dealer here with his jumps about anywhere between a little over 700 all the way up to 1100. The blue dolls he will be focusing on, they have 1000 HP. Red dolls have 300, focusing on Yang and
This is the fight that I always get myself screwed on, so
you'll be good.
Here we go.
Very nice.
Oh, I think I killed that one too early. Got it.
GG.
Woo!
So for this next fight, if you have 4 people alive and you are at this level, are at the appropriate levels, you can just hold down and A when the screen fades to black. Kane will actually jump, or Golbez takes over. That to our advantage. Kane will stay in the air the whole time. So we're gonna do a tiny little bit of here.
Did I forget about a stack of 20? Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I can't do it. I forgot to run a stack of 20 cure states.
Do 9 item.
I don't think I have the stuff for 9 item.
I don't
know the 9 item setup.
You only need. You don't need this the last 2. That's.
Yeah, I don't know the 9 item setup though. That's the thing.
Here. Screenshot you. They'll finish the run.
I knew I forgot something.
That's all good. 9 item is perfectly fine. Depending on board. I know it's a little blurry, but you'll be able to make that. You can use a few things instead of, oh, there's exit and backup if
what all can I use Exodin?
What about cure potions?
About to find out.
So we cast warp here, crystal room, hit the dark crystal. Now we are at floor -1. As soon as we leave here, we're gonna enter some rooms that you've probably never seen before, or you may have seen before. You also may not have seen some of them.
Fireclaw 68. Thunderclaw times 8 goes there. Pure Staff times 13 goes there. Fireclaw 114 goes in the normal spot. I can't see the swap after note.
I'll tell you the swap after. So they have. That would be. Try this again. I had 2 items swapped. There we go. Look, we warped to the crit.
I don't have a stack of 58 Fireclaws.
Should be 57. Sorry.
Okay, that's right.
I wrote 58. Kinda stuck there. I haven't changed it.
Okay.
Make sure you do
2L, 2L, 4L is Cure 13, Fireclaw 68. 1R, 2R, and 4R are Fireclaw 114, Cure Staff 13, Thunderclaw 8.
Sounds right.
And then on the bottom, Cure Staff 13 with Ice Claw 57 next to it, Ice Claw 57 next to it, and then
Here.
Staff times 1.
How about I just do? Take a look at my inventory. That's how you should have it set up.
About to have it set up like that.
Okay. And then this cure rod right here. stack of cure stabs. After you get food, swap it to this spot. But you want to have this first warp broken.
So it's the same movement on the stack of cure staves to just above the Thunderclaws?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. I miscounted.
That's okay.
Cool. Get to count again.
Hey.
So here I go.
We got plenty of time. So, now you're just seeing me walk left for a while, and eventually we're going to wind up on the moon. Don't even need a spaceship, we just end up on the moon. Getting food. I will be doing some little IGT stuff before we go any further after this. Go up in Fu's Palace right now. Since the reason that we got rid of Kane is because if you have 5 people in your party, somebody joins your party, they will actually not join your party. Basically removed from the game. So we get the Darkness Crystal to make sure that we have a 5th open slot available by getting rid of Kane outside the sealed cave. And we're going to do a couple things in Fu's magics, in his magic list. Can't talk today. We're going to move some spells around. Look a little funky to you at first, but it'll make sense at that point. Right. So I'm going to check my endgame timer here. We're at 146. We're going to wait till 147. Right here. Move some spells around. Change my battle speed back to 1. That, and move this warp here. Right. What that's going to do is these top 3 items are, when I step on one of that black tiles, it's actually going to warp me to Romus. A fight that way. First, we need to get a spell while we wait. Go. Now we just walk left again until we get to the Dwarf Castle. We will end up in the left tower of Dwarf Castle. And we will walk down a set of stairs. That will actually kind of mess with Fu's spells. We're gonna get one of his spells called Uptco. Actually, an enemy skill called Reaction. And what that does is it kills all enemies on screen. Oh, walk down the stairs. See Uptco here. And we're going to cast Exit, which brings us back to this last mage room that we were in. And we're going to take a right step and a left step back onto this tile, and we're going to warp right to Zeromus. Alright. And if you want to take place in the Medio guessing game, Sid here will cast Medio instead of Fu. Healing the hairy form of Zeromus. Anywhere between 1600 and the highest I have seen is 2112. So if you want to type your guesses into chat. Now. Oh, Exodus going high.
Exodus going really high.
It's really cool seeing Sid cast all these spells. Especially when he rolls a double-digit white cast. It's always super amusing to see that happen. So
Got that ATV.
I don't remember exactly why Sid shows up here, but I want to say it's because Sid and Fusoya share the same shadow party slot. I believe it's because they share that same slot, and since Fu is technically in our party, Sid takes his spot, whereas Fu would be joining that party instead once he leaves after the giant. Alright, Medio is coming up. Let's see the winner. $19.88, closest without going over Sani. Good job, dude.
Thanks. That ATB Calbrena actually went well.
Looks like it went pretty well. So yeah, let me take a clearer picture, or do you still have what I
still got it. I can actually read it.
Okay. And yeah, you want to make sure that second set of cure stabs that are basically the two that are next to each other, you want to have them next to each other until after you get, because that's your Zeromus war. You don't want to go to Zeromus first. That's bad.
Right.
So save that. I always save that until after I get. Make sure you do window color right as well.
Yeah, I gotta find my stack of 114 fireballs.
So a little fun fact about this final part. The cutscenes that you get in the battle here, if you run, it actually, I want to say it reduces lag. I don't know if that's the specific explanation. Sure, somebody else can correct me. But it reduces lag. It actually saves 12 seconds over this whole little beginning cutscene, and it was found a little over 2 years ago. Crazy. This is what running away can do. So that upped code that we got earlier, you're going to be using that, and it's basically an instant cast. Who will basically blow himself up, and this form of Zeromus will be wiped off the face of the earth, the face of the moon, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know where we're at anymore. I always wait for a shake. Up to go. Here we go. Easy game.
GG's.
And that is no credit warp run. Oh yeah, sorry about that, Leo. Yeah, it's always when Zeromus disappears for the category. Thank you for the. It's always a really fun category. It's just filled with nonsense.
Down on the left and then direct left, like the same as doing.
Everything is the same as like before. Just the item swaps are different.
Oh god, I gotta remember. Oh yeah, that's right. messed up. I haven't done this in a while, so...
Oh, it's all good. Got plenty of time. A little side effect is after you... looks like you have your underclock. So the music kind of pertains after it just cast word.
I did.
I should have brought you back to the crystal room. It looked like your other purpose. Let me see your inventory.
Because I've got it as it's noted.
Your Cure, Ice Claw, and Staff all need to move down one slot. Yeah, there's a space in my notes.
Crap, yeah. I get to count again!
To reset. Could have just continued going.
My
You would.
warp was broken.
No, you would have fixed it when you went back onto it. All you needed to do was just go back out. Go back out of the crystal room. Because you're still set at 0 when you re-enter the crystal room.
This is... Yeah, see, I don't know an item.
I mean, it's the same for... for the other if you end up going back to the crystal room. You're always going to be set at 0 even if you cast Exit. So if you end up back in the crystal room, you don't need to ever recount. Just leave the crystal room and re-enter the club.
And I've lost count on my stairs already. I think this is 22.
Alright, so I'm gonna get something fun going. Here we go. Still Final Fantasy. Alright. So there's a fun little thing you can do in this game with sliding glitch. What we used to skip over missed the first time. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna save. I'm gonna take Can you even do it in FE anymore? Put up the quality.
That's a good question.
Load up the QOL patches. Trying to find a good save. Back to my... I choke. Lighten up. Alright. We're gonna take a nice long walk. We're gonna get back to the Earth, and I'm just gonna set up a glitch that'll allow us to enjoy watching a chocobo travel back and forth.
Looks good. Good Lord, Kane. You were eating your Wheaties this jump. Couch, you still there?
Yeah, I had a visitor at the door. Sorry.
I gotcha.
All right. How you doing, man? Doing good?
Let's find out. Because I think I miscounted my stairs, but
If you did, you can. If you did, go outside, save, and you can do it on the right stairs.
yeah. I did, of course.
Outside, save. I'll do the fights again. Save. Back on. And just go do it on the right side. What you need to do, you need to count to 63, where you're in the shop area. 63 will be that count in the right shop area, and then you enter Cafe Howdy, and then you just walk out of Cafe Howdy.
So we get to count again.
So that way you just don't have to do the fights again. You got everything already prepped. By the way, for anyone curious to me getting lost, this is a ROM hack called Final Fantasy IV Ultima. And the maps have changed, so I'm currently trying to find my way back to the Lunar Whale so we can have some fun times with some glitches. Aha! So one thing you can do is find in a forest far enough away from the other chocobo where it's going to where it's going to have to screen scroll to get back to it. And then we're going to do the same thing like we did during do battle speed, not battle message.
I forgot to warp.
All good. Go back in Cafe Howdy.
No, I want to say I forgot to adjust my other stuff as well. So I'm actually making a save with that adjusted because, like I said, I don't know 9 item, and I'm beyond tilted at this point. Where am I miscounting? I don't even know where I'm miscounting. Oh. Yeah, I don't even know where I'm miscounting.
You are warping out of Howdy, right?
I did warp out. Well, the first time I walked
just
out
start.
of Howdy and then...
Say it, just
Because... This is my last try. All it takes is me saying that that's my last try, and I get it. Of course.
nice. All right, so make sure you got all your items ready before you start doing any warps.
Okay.
Cool. Nice.
So I need to move the top stack of cure staves away, correct?
Just let me see your inventory before you. Just because if you have it set up just like me, just like mine, it should be empty, fire claw, cure 3, cure, and then cure. Could be the first.
That's how I have it set up.
Okay. So then once you get to Foo, from having your battle speed set to 6 and 034, you want to swap that second stack of cure rods to cure staves to the first spot. Make sure you set your battle speed, battle message.
Yeah, my battle speed's already
Okay.
set at 6.
Wanted to make sure because last time you battle message.
Oh wait, I need to exit.
Great.
Whoa. There we go. 2, 3. And then is it
Straight up.
up, right, left?
Depends on if you get pushed or not. If you get pushed through, then yes, it's up. Left up.
So I got pushed through, so up. Because it's left up if I don't.
Up, left, up if you don't.
Yeah. And then from here, I actually don't know where I run into IGT room. That is the problem right now. And my battle speed is already at 6.
Want to hear everything, because so in -44, your location is dependent on RGB and your battle speed. Battle speed determines your height, where you get pushed in that room. If you have it on battle speed 1, you'll be out of bounds and you won't be able to move anywhere. Battle speed 6 is where it needs to be able to do anything. Even if it's on battle speed 5, you can't do it. So you need to make sure you're on battle speed 6.
Check again. I am on battle speed 6.
Should be right into Fu's palace.
Yep. Getting Fu right now. What is it? Fire 1 nuke, and then I forget. Fire 1 stop and warp nuke, and then the same spells down to the bottom of Fu's white magic as 11 item. Life on mute berserk.
So the spells are always going to be the same, but you can also do, to make a faster menu, you can do Fire 1, nuke, Fire 2, or whatever the 2 spells are right below the top right spell. So you do Fire 1 and nuke, and then the 2 spells below fire where you put nuke, just swap those.
Okay, I'm just gonna do Fire 1 stop warp nuke then.
Yeah, just if you know what to do. I mean, I do my menuing a little bit different than some other people, and it just depends what you use.
My IGT is 148.
I have to chill a little. Depends on how soon it turned 1.
I just turned 149. So I'm gonna have to wait till 151.
So, what Sawney is looking at here is there's a little bacon chart that tells us, hey, this time is good to go through, or this time isn't good to go through. Sawney happens to be in a 149 in-game time, which puts us at a very, very unsafe time frame to go through. It doesn't clear up until about 151. So we're going to sit here for a couple of minutes. We're going to wait until we hit 151 IGT, and then we'll be good to go to finish up the room. So make sure you change your battle speed back to 1. Make sure your items are properly swapped in your inventory. Yeah.
Do I keep the extra stack of Cure Staves up there?
Oh yes, you should have Cure 13, Fireclaw 114, Cure 13.
Yep, I have that.
That's
now.
how it should be. That's gonna be your Zeromus one.
Yep, and then it's right left up after I get back to the major room. So we're gonna sit here and wait for another probably 30, maybe 45 seconds.
Keep going.
That was a screen I've never seen before.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, basically just do your best to walk out of bounds. Whether it's up or left. Whichever one is fastest.
Now I know where I am. So now I'm in Babil. Now I'm in Dwarf Castle. Now I'm down the stairs.
Hooray! Yes.
And now I actually can say I've done 9 items. God, not a headache.
Hey,
not
you got
what I'm used to, though.
Up to co as well.
Get your medio guesses in. I'm sticking with my 1816. So yeah, you guys got to see me do something for the first time.
Did you do?
In Marathon, because I've never done 9 items until now.
You know. And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
Baby. Zemus face planting. Like he deserved.
Absolutely. Alright.
Music is fantastic, Speedy. What are you talking about?
Here we go. Meteor roll coming up very shortly. Of course, Gomez rolls max. We knew that was going to happen, but Sid rolls 2014.
Speedy?
Speedy takes it with 1945. $69 off of having the correct value. And now to run away. By the way, I'm literally holding the controller with one hand away.
The dream.
Should I go ahead and use the crystal so that way we have...
I mean, if you want, man.
I have no idea how long it's gonna take for Fu to get another turn, but okay.
It won't take too long. Carry around.
Do it.
And he can survive the first big.
That's true. So you saw Couch kill Zeromus before Zeromus transformed. Well, I'm gonna kill Zeromus after he transforms. And Upco is going to cast Reaction. And there goes Zeromus. And as a side effect of transforming Zeromus, the Zeromus music keeps playing even after he's dead.
Awesome boss. GG, dude.
Thanks. So that's it for FF4. I don't even remember what we have next at this point.
I think it's a break next. Find the schedule. Yeah, thanks to everyone for having us. It's good to play this game. So it looks like
fun. It's fun even when things go wrong, but I've been on tilt since realizing I didn't have the 20 cure saves.
It happens. It happens. Yeah, it looks like break is next, and then come back at 11 p.m. Pacific for Fantasy 8. Man, that'll be a fun run. I want to thank you all for having me. Thank you, Sawney, for racing. Always have fun racing, man.
It's always a good time when we race, even if I do end up on tilt. And yeah, thanks for helping me through 9 item, because
no
I
problem,
would have
man.
literally had no idea what I was doing.
Not a problem. Yeah, I think that's it from us. Do you want to say before the cut? Yeah, thanks so much for having us.